Hi there and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how we can make our own custom React Native templates following my blog here on dev.to. So I will be providing a link to this dev.to blog here on the description page of the YouTube channel. So in this blog, I go over the main steps on how to create your custom React Native templates. So we'll mainly be starting by creating the templates repository so we can create the template anywhere we are just simply by having the repository link. So next, we want to create the actual template. So this is our starting project. This is where we'll put all the files that we want, all the components we want, all the packages we want installed, and more. So third one is actually creating the template itself. So the project structure was the previous one. This time it's the actual template that we'll be uploading to our repository, and then finally we'll be able to test it. So as a little bit of background, we know that when we create a React Native app for the first time, we usually run a command like this, which is npx react native init, and then we specify the project name. And then after it's successfully installed on our machine, we can run the starting app using the npx react native run android command or run ios command, and it should show us a screen or a main component that looks similar to this one, where we have the welcome to React and then additional notes and instructions and links to references that might be useful to first-time beginning React Native developers or people that just need a refresh. So the answer to this is our custom templates. So custom templates can be configured easily without installing a package or writing up a significant amount of scripts that you need to execute and something like that. It's minimal effort. It's mainly focused on your app, your starting app that you want to build. So how do we start making a React Native project that's already configured with navigation and state management libraries like Redux and other components like a UI library like React Native Paper, or icons like React Native Vector icons, and the list goes on. So I first learned about custom templates when I was browsing Boilerplate code. So if we search the coding machine, they're a group of awesome teams, and I'm currently exploring their Boilerplate, which they have built a documentation around it. It's very good. So if you'll see here that they are a development team, but they have the React Native Boilerplate. So let me just search. Yes, this is it. So this is a boilerplate that you can use actually to build a customized React Native project that's already configured with startup screen, with state management, with navigation, and other stuff. But I figured that for some people, they might need something more customized and more specific to their needs. So that's why this video actually exists. So before anything else, let's start with a demo demonstrating this simple concept. So you just have to open up your terminal and just copy and paste this code here. So if you'll see, it's a React Native init command. We just insert a flag called the -- template. Yep. So we have to copy that and just open up our terminal to your desired folder location and then just paste it in. So if you'll see here, the project is called test. The template is a GitHub repository that points to my simple Redux boilerplate repository, which is not done, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to demonstrate it as well. So just pressing enter, we'll start creating our React Native app as usual, but this time we'll see that the app that we launch at the start is already configured and looks different than what we normally see in our starting React Native apps. So let's just pause the video and wait for a while until this download actually finishes, and I'll get back to you later. So we finally completed running our command, which is the npx react native init command with the project test. It's already there, and we can start running it using the commands provided to us in this terminal screen. So let me just open up separate tab, and then we can copy that. We can open up a new tab here and just run the iOS app here, and then we'll run the Android app here. So this will take some time, so let's just skip this part. So we're finally about to finish installing our React Native app test on the iOS simulator. So the Android app has already finished loading up the test project, and as you can see here, it's not the default React Native project screen anymore. It's a customized screen that already has React navigation installed, and when we click on that, it will go to a new screen called the home screen. And going back, so you can see here that the test project actually is has a text called test, which is indicative of our project name. So I added some content in there so that you can differentiate that this project is actually test project that came from our template. And if we wanted to, we can repeat it again with the same project but different name. So we can easily reuse this one for different projects. So now that we finished the demo, we can finally start to make our template. So we want to set up a repository which is on GitHub, but you can basically make it anywhere you want. So for example, we can make our template be called from npm from our file. So file meaning this machine, local machine, and then http, https, or git. So either way we can use those, but for this project we can actually just make it on GitHub. So I already have this RN template, so we can make another called RN template2. So I'm just going to keep it as in an empty repository, so let's leave it at that the moment. And then we want to create our React Native application, so we can close this one, which is at the bundler, and then we just have to exit out of here, then we can clear that and listing the directory. This is our project test. So in this folder channel, I will be making my project, which is npx react native init project name. So this will take a while, so let's just skip this part and just proceed when it's done. So now that we finished building our project, which is called the project name for the templates purposes, we can finally try to run it, but we can expect that the app will actually just be the starting app that we already saw earlier in the background portion of this project. But let's still go ahead and let's run it, and then I'll run the Android application on another tab here. It will run the Metro bundler, So while we wait for that, let's just skip over these parts and just proceed when the installation is done. So as of the time of this recording, I seem to have encountered an error when I tried to run the initial app. This is without the custom boilerplate, by the way. And my iOS project, while on the Android one, it ran perfectly. So I've been searching for this, and you might probably encounter this as well if you're still watching this video fairly new, fairly early. So I searched for it all over the place, and I managed to encounter this article on Stack Overflow. Well, not really an article, but the page. So it's because of the use flipper, some indications that the version needs to be specified. So there's two ways that we can actually fix this error based on our friends from Stack Overflow. We can actually resolve it using this change. So we need to open up our pod file here on the project name and just change it. It's a bug, actually. It's a bug that came with the latest version of React Native. So we could fix it like this one, just for you to know, so you don't encounter it in your future React Native projects. In React Native version 0.63, so what he said was remove the pod file lock and then run the command in the iOS folder. So let's just run npx pod install. So this is one way to fix it. Oops. Pod install. So this is one way to fix it, but what you can do as an alternative is just downgrade our React Native version from 0.63, which is the latest, to 0.62. So for now, let's just try to run our React Native project, run iOS, and let's see if it gets the job done. This is only an issue for iOS. I included this in the video so that if you manage to encounter this problem on your React Native init command and then running on iOS, it will not be encountered anymore, or you can fix it. So let's just wait for the build and let's see if it's resolved. So the fix worked. Sorry about that, but that's a current bug with our latest release of React Native. So it's now working, and you won't encounter this error again. And the other way to fix this is actually to just downgrade. Just specify the version here. Okay, so we could run our project again, but specify the version. But I decided to show you this in order to make you aware that there's a current problem with React Native version 0.63, which I hope they'll fix very soon, so you don't have to go ahead and trouble yourself by specifying the version. So now that we've fixed our little iOS issue, we can finally close this one, and let's just proceed to skip these parts. Yeah, okay. So one note is that your Cocoapods version must be 1.10.1. So if you're new and you installed Cocoapods before, that won't be an issue. If you've been using React Native for a very long time, you might want to consider upgrading in order to follow along with this latest version of React Native. If you can't, you just create a Ruby environment and install your Cocoapods to 1.10.1 there. So finally, we'll start by disconnecting our Metro server, since we're going to install some packages. So we just have to copy and paste all of this. This is just a really fast process, and we don't have let's just clear this one to avoid some of the clutter. And in here, let's just copy and paste everything, and that will install all the packages. So let's just skip this part and fast forward when we finally have the packages installed. So our template project is now successfully created and set up. So this is the actual screen that we wanted to see, and if you did everything correctly, this should be the output. So it's the same, it's a React Native screen, but this time I have included the buttons to be React Native paper buttons, and they have their icons which came from React Native vector icons. So now we have the icons home and the user. Then we can go to profile screen, just for an example, and go to home screen, and yeah, so on. Yep. So we finally have that stuff working. So we finally have our dependencies installed. Let's proceed to the next step. We have to set up React Native vector icons, and you can get some problems with this if you don't you're not aware of what you're going to do. So let me just guide you on what we're going to do. We're going to this part of the page in the documentation of React Native vector icons. Here we already did this install using Yarn, but we have to go with this process because React Native link does not fully install everything that we need. So just to play it safe, we need to go to our iOS again, iOS project, and then go to pod file, open your text editor. It could be React Native, it could be text edit on Mac or VS Code, but for this purpose I'm just sticking with text edit for now, Notepad for Windows. So you will add it here, pod. So let's just save it, and then we need to actually add our info plist. So I think this would be a good time to open VS Code. I was just saving it for time when I really needed it. So let's just double check what we added here. So we added the pod, yeah, our vector icons. We need that for iOS so that the React Native vector icons will work for iOS. And let's just include this step, which is edit the info plist as described above. So all we have to do is copy and paste this code and go to iOS again, iOS folder, and click on your project name, go to the info.plist and add it like so. So after that, we're done configuring icons on our native iOS. So let's just proceed to Android now. You just need to go to the Android app build.gradle and copy and paste this code, which is going to include the fonts.gradle. So Android app, and then it has a build.gradle inside. Just have to place it somewhere. I usually place it here below, and we're done configuring React Native vector icons for Android as well. So we can close this one. We're done. And later on we can choose to pod install iOS, or we can do it right now or later. So in my terminal, let me just go to cd iOS and just run pod install right now so we don't forget about it. So there's two options. You can use npx pod install, or you can just go to the iOS folder and run pod install there. So it installed our new packages, the gesture handler for navigation, the screens, and the vector icons. So let's just exit out of there, go to our project directory, clear that up, and then we can finally change our app.js like so. This is just a basic code with React navigation and vector icons. So just proceed here and just press Ctrl A and just delete it all, replace it with that code from our blog, and we can run. So going back to my terminal with two tabs, let me just run Android, yarn run Android. I'm showing actually different ways on how to run the app. Yarn run iOS for iOS. So expect to see something different this time. And let's just skip this part until the app finally finishes building. So now that we've seen our completed application, similar to the picture that I've shown here, you can finally create the actual template structure. And if you've encountered problems, you can refer to the completed project here on my GitHub account. So to follow our template structure that React Native will accept, we need to go to the GitHub page, the GitHub repository of SMSec, because this is the official React Native format for the template. So we'll find in my article that it was a really funny story. I managed to stumble upon this repository, but you can actually find it here when you go to the React Native Community CLI MD. If you scroll down here, you can see how they will specify on part of the article as creating custom template, but not much explanation. So this video can definitely help you out, as you've seen. So you have to have the template config.js, but the link for the custom example template actually leads to SMSec and his React Native new template format, which we will be following along. So we have to clone this project. Moving on, step 5. So you have to clone that, but be careful because we need to clone it on a folder that we want. So we don't want to clone that inside of our project, React Native project. So let's just clear that and just git clone, then paste the link from SMSX work. Okay, so we need to be careful about this one because that's our Git repository. So on your file explorer, we need to create a new folder. So this is back up. Yeah, so this is the folder. We have project name, we have the new template. Let's just delete this test folder since we don't need it anymore. We'll make a folder called TestRNTemplate2 because I've already created this one before. So you can put a customized name in your repository, but for my repository it's going to be TestRNTemplate2. And we have to, let's just wait for the GIF so that we're on the same page. We have to rename the project name as template. So that's taken care of. Then going over to the React Native new template, we need to copy these three files over to our TestRNTemplate2. Yep, so now we have that file. Okay, so that's now we have the actual template. So moving on, we need to specify changes, of course, to the contents of package.json for formality. So thus the VS Code project is no longer valid, so we need to open our project here, package.json, and then we need to give it a proper name. So TestRNTemplate2. So we'll make it 1. We can name it whatever we want. The Git repository will be the Git repository that I made here. So let's just make it HTTPS. Yep, so that's the repository link, and then the author is me, and then for the license we'll just keep it as is. This is just informational. It doesn't really have a functional significance to our template. So now that we have done that, we can finally push these changes to our repository. So now we are finally at the point that we will push our code to our newly created repository. In my case, it's TestRNTemplate2. You could have named your template something else. So we'll first go back to the terminal and make sure that we are on the TestRNTemplate2 folder, and then we need to be careful because we need to copy these commands, but take note that these commands need to be changed based on the link of your repository. So you need to change this if necessary. In my case, I do need to change it because TestRNTemplate2, I already have the TestRNTemplate by itself when I made this blog. So change that, and running the command, it should automatically give you the right result, which is we have set up and have written the files to that our TestRNTemplate2 repository. So we have to check. Yes, so it's here. We're still missing a readme, but you can add that later if you want. So let's just remove this now since we're not going to need anymore, and we're done. So we can finally give this a try again by simply exiting out of this this project, clearing, and then let's just list the directory. We're at channel folder again. So let's just run the command React Native init some app template, and let's just base it from our TestRNTemplate2. Remember to change that to your link. So it's 2 for me. So let's just create the app and wait for the command to finish. So now that we're done with the installation, we can actually run it now. So we can run the iOS here by copy and pasting it to the terminal, and then the same for the Android one. So let me just copy it now and then just run it here, and the Android we will run here. So while waiting for it to run, let's just delete our project name. They won't actually be the same app, but let's just remove them to avoid the to avoid saying a similar app. Okay, so let's just wait for it to finish building, and we'll skip to that part. Oh, so I have encountered an error saying the sum app has not been registered. I forgot that we already had a Metro bundler already initiated for project name. So let me just terminate that and run the command again. Oops. Let's just go with run your Android because we're already in the folder. Yeah, so let's just wait for that again. It should be fine now. Yeah, a new Metro server just opened up. So now I think we're going to be good. So actually, this concludes our video about making custom React Native templates. If you like this video and it's helped you, consider liking and sharing this video and clicking the subscribe button if you want to stay tuned for more React Native content, programming stuff like this one, as well as other content that I have on this channel. So let's just wait for it to build now. We're still waiting on the iOS Xcode. It's taking a long time to compile to build the app. Okay, so we're going to see our Android version. Yeah, so if all goes well with that iOS version, it should also display the same result. Okay, so we've confirmed the Android app is working. So let's just wait for the iOS one. Okay, so the iOS app successfully finished building. Uploaded yeah, the some app this is. Okay, so we have the icons, we have the React native paper button, and we have our welcome screen, which is a component from React Native paper as well. It's called the title component. You can navigate to other screens, navigation, and there you have it. The video's finally done. So I hope this helped you, and again, feel free to like this video, thumbs up if this has helped you, and subscribe for more React Native content and programming content and other content on my channel. Thanks.